Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to All Things Nerdy with A and Joe. I am Nate. That is Joe. And today we're going to continue our month-long conversation about video games. And we've talked about a lot of different things so far. We've talked about NCAA a couple times. We didn't talk about anything last week because I had a bachelor party. We talked about what? What did we talk about 2 weeks ago?
Like Battle Royale versus regular player modes, those kinds of things.
Yeah, that was a good time. Well, today we're going to talk about Pokemon. As some of you know, that Joe and I are both big Pokemon people. We love Pokemon, enjoy it, buy all the new games and stuff like that. We even have a group chat fully focused around Pokemon and all those things. So today we're going to really dive into open world versus linear, overworld versus underworld, Pokemon in general, what we hope for, what we wish we had, and all those kind of things. Joe?
Yeah, I will preface this by saying, when Nate does something, he does not do it a little bit. So I would classify myself as a just casual Pokemon player. I would classify Nate as a sweat. If you've played video games, you know what that means. But without further ado, let's get in this topic. Nate, let's talk nerdy.
Let's talk nerdy, man. First off, so look, some things I'm a sweat. I feel like I'm a sweaty casual when it comes to Pokemon because I ain't out here competing, but I enjoy a good ranked battle. Do I, take hours and hours of my life to breed little Pokemon to make sure they have the right IVs, the right EV, and all that stuff? 100%. Yes, I do. No. Many hours. My wife would be like, bro, let's go to bed. I'll be like, bro, just one more egg. And then 100 eggs later, I'm like, all right, fine.
And just to compare our abilities here, me and Nate did battle in Pokemon, and need to say he won, but I was very upset in the manner that he won. So I threw out my flaming monkey. I can't remember what the name of it is now.
Chimchar.
Yeah, I threw it.
Was it Chimchar?
I don't think fully evolved version of that. No, it wasn't Chimchar. It was
the starter. Yeah,
it was the starter Pokemon. And then he throws out a Mamoswine. So okay, in my head, I'm like, all right, monkey that's on fire versus a giant
mammoth.
Something that should be really slow. He goes first of Infernape. Yeah, Ben got it right. It was Infernape. So his Mamoswine was so well bred that it was faster than my Infernape, and he one hit KO'd me off the start. So I was just like, yeah, this is how this is gonna go.
I don't think I lost the Pokemon, Joe. The difference between bred perfect IV setup team fight versus the casual water EV IV kind of things is just so drastic. It was funny to do, but really you stood no chance. What's up, Haley? How you doing?
Hey,
appreciate you checking it out. So that's the difference between a casual and then maybe a sweaty casual, right?
A sweat.
Look, I am a committed person. I really don't do anything half-ass, right? If I do something, I tend to just I will burn out because of my overcommitment. So when I first started playing Magic, right, my buddy had to text me and be like, please stop buying cards. Just you don't even understand the game. Why? I was like, dude, I gotta have options. He's like, you're not gonna use any of those. Just wait. And I was like, well, now I have them.
Yeah, but what if I do? But yeah, so we mentioned kind of at the beginning that we're going to be talking about some kind of some of the different game modes, the progression of the game, where we kind of want to see Pokemon to go in the next Pokemon game, that kind of thing. So I guess the first major change has been the linear gameplay that it used to be. You had to go this specific route. You unlocked moves to unlock, to cut and fly and stuff as you went to be able to get to the next area. Versus the newer games have been open world, what Arceus and Scarlet Violet. You could really kind of explore to your heart's content and just go randomly throughout the map. What do you think of those two different modes? Do you like the new style? What do you feel?
So yes and no. I think the biggest struggle for me, Joe, what I really, really struggle with is fully wrapping my head around the fact that Pokemon is a kid's game. It is ultimately designed and created for kids, even if it pisses me off because I was a kid when it came out. So I wanted to scale with me as I've gotten older. right? But anytime you do an open world game, Scarlet and Violet, right? And if it's a game based around kids, even if they have the ability to go to Google and stuff that like we did not. So like the linear game when we were growing up, it made it accessible to kids because you start removing decisions. It's like you have to go this way, you have to do this. But the open world, when you start implementing decisions, like and you say, oh, you can go this way, you can go that way. It doesn't matter which way. It really makes like it does up the challenge of the game for the kids because they have to fully wrap their head around like the open world. My biggest issue with the open world is something that I think they did so poorly on Scarlet and Violet is the scaling of the levels, right? So like I'm one of those people like I'm not like OCD or anything, but I'm very much a pattern person. Like if I do something like I want to do, so I did the whole left side. Whoop, and then I went back to the right side and I had my full team that I loved. I had a couple shinies that I worked for and bred, right? I had all these like awesome things. I go back and it's like level 10. What do you mean? Why is this dude, my dude's level 70? Why is this dude level
Yeah.
And it's just frustrating. So like I wish there was a level scaling thing, and there's been some in the past Pokemon, right? Like if you look at Sword and Shield, right? The little meter things that you could jump into and do raids with, they would scale.
Yeah.
They got harder, you know. So like the technology's there, they just didn't implement it, which sucks. Like if I come over here with a level 70 Mon, why not just make the Mons like level 60, level 70, you know?
Yeah, no, I get that for sure because I think I accidentally did it like the reverse. Like I went to one side and was like, well, I'm not going to be able to beat these people yet. Let me go back over here. So it's like it's open world, but it's also like, well, unless you just sit and grind in one little spot for a while, you're not really going to be able to go over there until you finish this one side kind of thing.
Yeah, sometimes. So I will sit there and just grind over and over until like I am where I need to be. Sometimes I'll over level. So if I'm doing a difficult run where I'm kind of nuzlocking or something, I will make sure that I under level so the game is more difficult. But usually my first run, I just over level so I can have fun, pick the Pokemon that I want that are fun versus like necessarily useful. So
Yeah.
I do that to no surprise.
Yeah, I think it's funny that like me and Keaton were like, we've played so much Pokemon, now we have to use all different teams that we've never used before. And I was like, I'm gonna agree to this, but a part of me is sad because I always have certain Pokemon, like they're always there. Like Gengar, I think is one that I always use, that kind of thing.
Yep.
But
Gyarados,
like, yeah, Gyarados, 100% Gyarados every time. But it's like we had to use all ones that we had never used before, which it was cool because we got to kind of try out different Pokemon that we hadn't and probably wouldn't have messed with before, that kind of stuff. But
I will say, I think the open world is going to lead us to what we all want. And
like just an MMO, like a whole, that would be amazing.
Pokemon MMO that is not fan based. I know Pokemon MMO is out there, right? I know there's some other ROM driven MMOs, and I'm talking like an actual real Pokemon MMO. And the first thing is like, okay, it's showing that the fan base has an appetite for an open world. Pokemon MMO and all those have already showed that the fan base has an appetite for an MMO. Now, they've said that they'll never do it, right? But money speaks volumes. And I think the more we go, and like you're seeing, I don't love the open world catch like Arceus. It's just repetitive. It's boring and things of that nature. But I do think like we are setting ourselves up to see a authentic Pokemon MMO within the next, like, hopefully like 5 years, 10 years.
So I know you hate like subscription type stuff. You like to buy the game and like, you know, it's your game. Would you pay a monthly subscription for a Pokemon MMO?
Did I have to pay for the game up front, or did I just download it and choose if I wanted to be in it?
Let's say you don't pay for it up front. Yeah, or if you do, it's something minuscule like $10 or something like that.
Then no. If you ask for $1, you get no additional dollars. If you ask for no dollars, I will give you all the additional dollars. Except for Call of Duty Warzone, I will not support them at all because A, they are a fucking shit show of a studio, They don't treat their people correctly, and the game sucks ass. Have you ever seen their store broken? Have you ever accidentally got one of their premium skins for free? No, but you can't jump through windows. Anyways, go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, a little side tangent there. But I don't even remember what I was saying. But so as far as the subscription model goes, like, I mean, you would on principle literally be like, no, if you had to pay $20 for the game and it was like a $5 a month fee, like you would not pay it.
I mean, it depends on the game, right? Like, I would love a Pokemon MMO. If there was a game that could get me to do it, it'd probably be a Pokemon MMO. But like, I already paid for a Nintendo subscription, right? I already paid for Pokemon Home, which is ridiculous because I haven't played Pokemon in like 6 months or whatever it is. But like, somehow I don't know. Now, if it came to the computer and I could access it, the graphics were top notch. It was really an actual true open world like MMO, all those. Then yeah, I mean, it'd be like WoW. I'll buy WoW and then I'll pay for a subscription. I'll play it for like 3 days and then I'll cancel it. And there's 27 wasted days of, that monthly subscription. But so it depends. I wouldn't want to. I would bitch to you about it probably if I had to guess. So,
but yeah, I think it would be one of those things where we at least have to try it. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. And then, so we mentioned at the beginning, like overworld versus underworld in the Pokemon. One, can you explain, like, for the people, like, what does that mean?
Yeah, of course. So underworld versus overworld, what it means, if you think back to like Pokemon Blue and Red and things like that, you had to walk into the grass to find the Pokemon, and all of your encounters are random, and there's a rarity to them also. Right. And even like the remake of Diamond and Pearl, like there was some like monsters you could only catch in the underworld. You had to walk through the grass in certain areas. Overworld is where the Pokemon are constantly present, constantly walking around. You can pick and choose to run into them or not run into them. Think about Scarlet, Violet. The majority of Pokemon, you see them out, up and running, and you can dodge them, which is nice because like the old ones, it gets a bit of a grind. You're like, oh, I got to go through this grass. It doesn't matter if it's one thing long or 10 things. It's a guaranteed battle. And especially when you get like your level 100, you're like, just okay, one hit. Just let me go. Right. So there are pros and cons, but that is the difference, right? One is you cannot see, you have to go searching. The encounters are random. And the other one is you can see them out in the open, plain as day.
Yeah. And I will say, like, I will use so much Repel and Super Repel in the Underworld games that I was thinking through some of the stuff that you mentioned, like the shinies and things like that. I guess that does the overworld does diminish like the shinies just because it's not so random anymore. You can literally just kind of walk around, reload the spot where you're looking, and just you'll be able to see it, versus before it was like, well, let me hit this grass 150 times and hopefully I get one.
Yeah, I mean, there were like ways to manipulate the game, like stacking and stuff like that, encounter stacking in order to increase your odds of shinies and stuff. But like that still takes a lot of effort and a lot of time. But now people like, so I'm in all the Facebook groups and stuff like that. People are like, oh, I have 18 shinies of this one Pokemon, because like they'll put down whatever and then just like, there's a Dratini glitch at one point in time on Scarlet and Violet. So like it's like a mountain, and then right below it there's a Dratini spawn, and the mountain was like far enough that like it would like glitch in and out, like spawn, unspawn, spawn, unspawn. So like literally you could just sit there and catch shiny like Dragonite, not Dragonite, but like Dragonairs and all that over and over and over, because you're not having to put in any effort. But to me, like, it doesn't just diminish it. It takes away the excitement altogether. Now, if I hatch a shiny, I'm proud of that because the odds are crazy, right? Like, they are not good. I even use, like, the cross oh, my God. How is it escaping me? It's the M word method. Oh, my gosh. Where you take, like, a foreign Pokemon and an English Pokemon and you breed them, you have a higher chance of a shiny, right? So I always use, like, a Japanese Ditto and an English whatever Pokemon, and I will breed them with the IV EVs that I need to try to get a shiny, but it will take me hours and hours and hours. Whereas like this last time that I played Scarlet and Violet, like just a normal run through for the game, I think I ended up with like 6 shinies, which is it should not happen. There were old games I would play the whole game with 0 shinies.
Yeah, that's what I was say. Before recent games, like I don't think I ever caught a shiny. Like I was just not lucky, and I didn't like go and like try to hunt for them. So I don't. I mean, if Pokemon Go was probably my first experience with shinies.
Yeah, even
And
like
then you get to these new games, like, oh look, there's a shiny Pokemon right there. I'm just go catch it.
yeah, and if you go play competitive at all, everybody's just shiny, 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 shiny. You know, now those shinies they can be ginned most likely, right? Unless you're playing out in tournament level. But I mean, a lot. It's just I don't know. Like back in the day, you'd see that and you'd be like, "Oh my god, that's so
It's a
crazy."
shiny.
But now you're
How
just
did
like,
he get
"Whatever,
that?
dude." Yeah, like
No,
whatever. My Mammoth Swan's
no.
about to murder you.
Yeah, yeah, I would believe it. Um, I've seen it in action, and
So I do so pros and cons, right? Overworld versus underworld. The overworld is nice for a lot of reasons. I think it makes the game more fluid. Um, it it makes it more fun and interactable from a playing standpoint because instead of just walking in a straight path, like right, you can move, you can actually ride your bike, you can bob and weave, you can make. I know some people that do challenges like no contact challenges where they can't run into Pokemon, right? And if they run into Pokemon, that's not like a decision. If they just like accidentally, they'll release and stuff like that, and things of that nature. So you can make it more fun than the linear ones, but than the underworld ones. But I don't know, man. I miss the fun of sitting in certain grass for hours trying to find that specific Pokemon.
I never did the. I did like trying to remember, was it Silver maybe, where you had to hunt in the grass for the dogs, the legendary dogs. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but I remember trying to hunt for those. You have to go to different spots and pull up where they're at on the map, and you have to hope to catch them and throw the Pokeball. Then they'd run away. And you're like, no.
Uh,
So,
I want
so
I
that
want to
was pretty
apologize.
fun.
My brain is completely fried right now with everything I have going on in life. So like I can't remember anything. Like even my name is escaping me at times today. So the fact that I can't remember, I'm sorry. Because usually this is like my life. I would like be on top of this stuff immediately. But man, my brain is just fried.
It happens to the best of us for sure.
Uh,
But I guess other than in MMO, like what do you want to see kind of in maybe the next Pokemon game?
I think the whole community will agree with me on this. A fucking difficulty setting, right? They have already shown us that they can increase the difficulty. Cynthia on the remake of Diamond and Pearl, right? That was like a competition level. That was an EVIV bred. Oh my god, how can I not think of the name?
Is it Champion?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't. We should have picked a different topic today. But anyways, like that thing was EV bred. It was a monster to
Oh, the
fight.
Garchomp.
Garchomp. Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. Right. They have shown us that they can do it. Just give it to us, please. Give me, normal, which is Pokemon as you love today, right? Collectors, just go catch your Pokemon, live your best life. Give me a hard and give me damn near impossible because I want to beat the game on damn near impossible.
Nate wants to be the very best, the best there ever was.
Well, there's not even really a Nuzlocke. Like I've tried so many different Nuzlocks. Like I've done underlevel Nuzlocks. I've done elemental disadvantage Nuzlocke. Like it's just not, unless the AI of the computer gets better, there's nothing that really makes the game more enjoyable difficult. Like I don't want to have to dump the game down to the point that I'm shorting myself to make it more difficult. But like I want it to be more enjoyable, but also harder.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And the Nuzlocke that we tried, I got my butt kicked. Like when we had to get the 3 random ones from just random trades. Like I got past the first gym and that was it. Like I just couldn't get lucky with the Pokemon that I was getting. And we had like the level cap on there, so I was like I couldn't over level them. So I was like I'm just stuck on the second gym because I can't get good randoms and I keep dying.
Yeah, even on that one, Joe, like I got past everybody, right? And I'm not saying I'm like crazy good or anything like that. It's just like I got some good Pokemon, so the whole Nuzlocke just got easier. So I would have to increase the Nuzlocke Like, oh,
Yeah.
well, no, that Pokemon is elemental, advantage. Let me get rid of them, right? Like at that point, I'm putting myself at such a disadvantage. It's not even fun. So, like, I think all of the community would agree. Like, do they need to raise the base difficulty of Pokemon? No, it is a kid's game. Do they need to give me a fucking difficulty slider? Yes, they do.
I feel like you feel strongly about this, Nate.
Yes. I'm going to be the voice of the community. The whole community feels this way.
I remember when my son was playing through and he got to Cynthia, like he was like, yeah, I'm about to be the champion, and she crushed him, and he was like,
real life, kid.
Right, I was like, you're not the champion, are you? You weren't ready for that battle. And he's like, what do I do? I'm like, go train. And like he was like, all right, I got him up like 4 levels each. I'm like, that's not enough.
Dude,
you can try.
I'm not gonna lie, that Cynthia battle caught me off guard. Usually, so look, before you beat the game, you can't read any IVs or anything like that, so you don't know. You're just playing with regular casual Pokemon. I remember going into it being like, man, I'm gonna just run through this. This whole game's been easy. I get to her and she just stomps a mud hole in my behind. I'm like, oh.
So that's like the first time I was like, oh, I didn't beat the champion. Like that was like the first run through where I ever got crushed the first time. I was like, well.
I remember coming out of that battle, going to my Pokemon box and pulling out specific Pokemon to counter. I'm like, I know this. I'm taking this one. I'm taking this one. I'm taking this one. Like, all right, I'll see you in a few hours. I'll be back.
No, my Google was how to beat Garchomp. Because that thing was insane. But it made it so much more fun. Like it added that level of like, oh wow, like this is actually a challenge. Like I have to go work for this versus just kind of yawning and like, all right, I'm the champion.
Right.
And
it was fun.
Yeah, and it was even funnier just to watch my son like get crushed because I knew it was coming, but I didn't warn him. I was like, I just want him to feel like I felt.
100%. I wouldn't tell anybody. I want a surprise beating for them. Like I want to see their reaction when they get stepped on.
Yeah. And which one was the one with the test before you could go do the challenge? Like that one caught me off guard.
That was like, wait a minute. Violet. Yeah,
I was like, wait, there's a test? Like I wasn't prepared for this.
Yeah, I passed out. That was just weird. That was an odd little thing. I mean, it's different. I know they gotta like swap it up here or there, but I was just like, what is this?
Yeah, I mean, I failed the first time because I was trying to go off memory, and I was like, oh, I'll look it up now. But I was like, why is there a test? Like, no one told me about a test that I was supposed to memorize this stuff.
Yeah.
But that was definitely an interesting little twist. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing a lot of things right. I did really enjoy the open world versus the linear, right? There's a few things they can work on. I didn't love the open world of Arceus just because of how open and fluid it was. Like, I think the catching while you're on the go, like it just really diminishes like the going into the battle. It takes away the feel of Pokemon. And Arceus would be like, oh, catch 30 Pokemon. You can run out and do that in 10 minutes. Like that to me, that is just not the nature of Pokemon. We're not mass catching Pokemon. I'm going out. I'm specifically picking and choosing. I want one of everything because I'm a completionist, right? I'm going to complete my Pokedex and all that stuff. But like, I'm not just running out and catching 30 freaking Garchomps, right? Or Tyrannitars or whatever it is, like a Growlithe. Like I think that on Arceus, there's actually like you have to go catch 30 Growlithe at one point in time. I'm just like, dude, no, I'm not doing that. I don't want to. It takes away from the nature.
Yeah. McCroy said, my boy.
What up, McCroy?
Oh, but yeah, and I think what would I add to a game? Like you already mentioned the difficulty thing. Like maybe like we talked about it earlier, is like how it's supposed to like level scale with you, like and make that the entire map. Like not just like if you get on the left side, you're done. Then you go down the right side scales to where you are. But like if you go back to that left side, like those trainer battles that you can redo and stuff like that, like I'd want those to be like leveled up and stuff too. That would be nice.
Yeah, even in old Pokemon, like there'd be times where you'd bypass a trainer, you'd come back and be like, level 5 Weedle. Yeah. And you're
like, you'll fight me now, and I'm like, okay, if you want to die, sure.
Yeah. Look at that Pokemon scarily. So it goes away.
Oh goodness, but yeah, definitely like level scaling, that kind of stuff, level matching, I guess, and that there's AI to do it now. Like it should be enough of data in there to be able to do that for sure.
Dude, imagine a Pokemon game where they use AI to learn your tendencies of what you do, your swaps, your elementals, like who you traditionally start with, what move you traditionally go with, and stuff like that. That would be so cool. By the end of the game, like it would be so tough to beat. I would play that forever and always. I would just like, I would live on that. My wife would divorce me. It would be amazing.
Yeah, you you're just like every time you're having to adjust to different play styles to just to beat the computer because it's learning everything you do.
Yeah,
That would be
swapping
that
lineups,
would be
like
that hell difficulty for sure.
yeah, that would be the Elden Ring setting,
Yeah.
the
And
almost
then
unenjoyable borderline nonsense.
yeah. Then I think one other thing, like maybe if they're going to introduce new Pokemon, to not make them utterly ridiculous. Like there's like a garbage one now that's like literal garbage. Like they're getting
They
kind of off the wall with the names and like TV sets and like stuff like that. It's just like okay.
I think they did better with Scarlet and Violet. Honestly, like some of them were really cool and things like
Yeah.
that. But
Tinker Tank.
yeah, dude, Tinkerton was awesome.
Yeah.
I love Tinkerton. That was such a cool design. But like they do have to reel it in some, right? Like there's only so much you can do at this point. There's freaking how many Pokemon? Like it's ridiculous. So
Yeah.
good on them for still trying. And with each generation, they're having to release more and more. You know, oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Could they do just like a throwback where it's just
No.
the original 150? You don't think they could?
No. So I mean they could like remaster the games, right? But like you could release an MMO that has like, and you could start it with a throwback. But if they released a new game and said, hey, it's just the traditional 150 Pokemon, I don't think like it has the nostalgia factor, but it's not like the cards and stuff, right? Like the whole reason you get excited about the new Pokemon is the new Pokemon. You want to see all the ones that they have, all the new features, all the new move sets, all the new evolutions, right? Like I would have a hard time getting excited about the 150. Now they released the 150 Pokemon card set and I was hyped, right? That's nostalgia. That takes me back. Releasing a game like that today, I just don't think I would enjoy that as much as like a new generation.
Yeah. I got McCoy that says he prefers the original 150.
Not surprised at all. That sounds right.
I mean, OG. And then Brian says he's way better at Pokemon than he is at Call of Duty Search and Destroy. I'll believe that because I mentioned Cyber Attack to him earlier this week, and he's like, I don't even know what that is. I was like, well, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Bro, first off, I could be decent at both. All right. I think something they have done really well is that I wish there was a difference somehow that you could set up a difference. So basically, they allow you to pull lineups for like ranked battles, right? So you can go play ranked, and you can just like basically borrow a pro player's lineup. And it has the items so it just becomes a knowledge base, like, oh, when to swap, when to put, who to start, things like that. I think that is great for your average player. But for someone who's like me, who takes the time to breed and get these things right, it kind of sucks for me because it takes away the purpose of doing that. And it takes away, like, I'm still proud that I did it, right? Like, I still feel good about it. But like when I lose to the other people and I know because I've seen that lineup on the rental thing, just be like, bro, you spent no time on this, right? Like you just had a pro dude build out this lineup that you just took, and then you came in and like I wasn't able to adjust or whatever it is. I take an L. I get kind of slow. So I wish there was a like, hey, you can rental lineups like unranked, and then ranked is like your lineups, like the ones you have.
Yeah, but with all the streaming and online stuff, it doesn't matter if it's someone's putting it in the game. Like they'll see on the stream and build it themselves too, right?
Okay, Joe, no, massive difference, right? Me just clicking a button and getting 6 fully leveled, fully IV, EV Pokemon, the right move set, everything, right? Versus me breeding 2, 3, 4, 5, 600 eggs to get the right nature, the right. IVs, then building up the EVs, getting to a level 100. And sometimes you got to go get egg moves, which might make you have to pass down a move to here, and then you have to pass it to here, and then you have to take that egg and you have to get the right nature and stuff like it's like a little puzzle. Like, shush. No. You know, so like I want that. Like, I want to be able to look across the battlefield and be like, bro, I know you put time in because we're going toe to toe. Like, I both know we put in 100 hours versus just being like.
Nate wants to relive the battle from Ash and the Champion.
Yes,
it's Pikachu versus Charizard. Music going. Just he wants it to be real. He wants to feel it.
Yeah, I put in time and effort. I want it to be good. I don't want to just play your rental lineup. Although the only thing, the caveat to that is sometimes I will go rent a specific Pokemon just to try it out to see if it fits into my lineup. And so that's nice that I don't have to go and do all the nonsense, but that would be unranked, right? Like you could go check that out. So I wish they would do that, make the separation.
Separate the boys from the men. That's what you're saying.
Pretty much. So I can go back to
from the girls.
So I can go back to getting my butt kicked and still feel okay about it.
Yeah, he's like I know you put your time into this. You didn't just rent all the Pokemon.
Yeah. Now if you beat me and I know you rented it, man, I get a little more mad than I should.
I didn't even know you could rent them like that. That might be what I do for our next battle. Since you beat me, it'd be only fair.
You got to earn it, Joe. We ain't about that freaking lazy man life.
Oh. Brian said, shame on you. That was because you didn't know what cyber attack was. And then he said, I'm just old enough to have missed Pokemon. I'll shut up now. Love you, Nate.
Love you too, buddy. Miss you. Come hang out with me and Charlotte. What?
But we are a little over time. Is there any last minute thoughts you want to share on Pokemon before we end the show?
Man, Pokemon is great. It's like one of the longest running like animes and stuff like that. It is the one thing that transcends everything. Pokemon has been a part of our lives. You're almost hard pressed to find someone that doesn't know what Pokemon is and stuff like that. So like you can sit here and say, like Pokemon sucks or whatever, and it's just not real. Pokemon has done so well. Like look at the longevity of it and stuff like that. I can't wait to see what they do. I hope we get all the things that we're asking for. I don't think I will. I don't think I'll see a difficulty setting anytime soon. But I love it. I think it's great.
I don't believe there is a person on the planet that doesn't know what Pikachu is. Yeah,
that's real. Like I bet I could ask my granny. Well, my granny might not know, but she might know.
She's probably seen it somewhere, like in a balloon in the store or something. Like she's
got grandkids. She got grandkids. She know what it is, probably.
Exactly. I want to throw this last comment up before you end, just because I know you're going to love it. Brian says, sounds like buying your ultimate team in Madden, talking about renting the Pokemon teams.
Yeah, it's trash. This is also an issue that I have an ultimate team because I don't freaking buy packs, right? Like, I will do the challenges and stuff, but in order to compete on Ultimate Team, you have to be a whale. You have to spend massive amounts of money. It's like 3 weeks in, people are like, I got 99 everywhere. That's so boring. I just ran for 60 yards against the computer so I could get this 74 overall left tackle. I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, I was trying. I did finally get the college football game, and I was trying some of like the challenges to get points for Ultimate. I was getting my butt kicked. Like it was like score 10 in the first quarter. I was like, oh, that'll be easy. I couldn't do it. I tried like 8 times, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to come back to this later. I just can't do it right now.
I'm shocked at how bad I am at NCAA. To see how good I used to be versus where I'm at now, ooh, son, it is bad. I'm out here beating the computer like 13-10. That's if I'm lucky.
Yeah, I had to make myself feel better. I sent you the screenshot. Like I put the computer on the easiest, like the rookie level, and then beat it like 60-14 or something like that. But I was still kind of upset because I let the easy computer score on me twice and just literally blown coverage, ran it for like 80 yards kind of stuff. And I was like, I can't believe I did that.
Dude, the computer. Go ahead, Joe.
I was saying we got a couple comments. Go Blue Raiders. I think that must be Cody's team. Yeah, that's Cody's team.
I hear Middle Tennessee State sucks, especially NCAA. If you're in any dynasty, Cody, I hope you lose out on all your recruits. He's in my dynasty.
And then Brian says Heisman on NCAA is no joke this year. Dude, It's not.
Bro, Heisman difficulty is like hashtag goals. Like, I wish I was that good at football games these days. That computer immediately reads everything. Does not matter what I throw at them. They're just money. 100% complete. They'll be like 19 for 26 touchdowns. I just be like, stop doing this.
Yeah, I tried it. I picked Georgia Southern just because it's the team I was going to run with. I tried to run a couple run plays, stop behind the line every time. I couldn't even throw the ball without getting an intercept. Like getting an intercept, I was like, you know what? I think I'm not going to play this right now because it's making me feel really bad about myself.
So the biggest issue I have right now, BB, if you're still listening, I would love your take on this. And I know we're over time, so we'll give it just a minute just in case. But like my dynasty, so I'm the commissioner of the league, right? And my dynasty, I'll log in and the difficulty will be set on Heisman. I'll swap it back to All-American. I push back. I go back to the main screen. I come back in. It says All-American. I close the game and go back into it. It says Heisman again. I'm like, what the F, mother effer? Am I playing the game on Heisman or am I playing the game on All-American? And it does feel like there's some games where I'm on Heisman. There's some games where I'm like, I can run the ball. It's so nice. Right. So, BB, if you're still listening, I would love to hear your take and you checking the difficulty of your Xbox League to see if it changed. Well, I guess y'all play on Heisman, so it'll stay on Heisman. But like ours goes from All-American to Heisman, and I just like change it constantly. So I never really know what it's on. And sometimes I feel bad because like I can play and I'm like, dude, this does not feel like All-American. Like my buddy Prami, who just like he quit because he just wasn't having fun. Like he played one game and lost by like 30-something points. And then I was like, dude, it shows Heisman. Let me put it on All-American. So I did that. He lost by 3 points. He's like, that felt so much different. But I'm like, the settings should be All-American. I don't understand.
Yeah. Are you saying Brian just goes around playing on Heisman just all the time?
Yeah, Brian's a cheater face. He's good. Right? I mean, I haven't played him this year, but he used to be a machine. So.
Dude, now I want to enjoy the game a little before, like, Jesus. I want to be able to do some of the stuff I want to do. Like,
yeah. Drag routes, baby. Drag routes.
Yeah. Quarterback draw. Like, no.
That's a fumble waiting to happen, Joe. Get out of here.
It never works in Heisman, never. But if you
doesn't
do
work
it
on anything.
if you do it on any other difficulty, you get at least 5 to 10 yards. But if you do it on Heisman, fumble.
Yeah. All right, Joe. Well, I'm going to let you run. I got to dip. I have some stuff that I got to knock out before the end of the day. But I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you all for listening, hanging out, commenting. We appreciate y'all. Take care. Y'all have a wonderful day, weekend. We'll see y'all not next week, but the week after. I have a wedding next week. No, wait. No. I should be good next week. It's the week after that I shouldn't be good.
Awesome. All right. See y'all later.